Welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the book of Theta Healing by Vianna Stibal. Now this book is really interesting, okay? Why it is interesting is because it talks about belief system. Sometimes in our life, we all go through belief systems, right? So based on the study by Candace Burke and also Walter Cannon, they actually unpack that our language and our emotion and how we talk to our body, it will have a physical change to our body system. So it's really important for us to talk nicely to ourselves so we don't have stress, we don't have low immunity system, and we don't have different kind of weakened body health. So that becomes something that's very, very important, right? Now, inside of the book, they mention that whenever you have an idea, it will create an electromagnetic wave and it will send a neuropeptide, and that neuropeptide will get sent to the central nervous system, and thus it will further trigger reaction to your physical body. Now, inside of the story, she does mention two stories. She mentioned the first story that is happening with one of her clients. The client had a tumor, right? The tumor happened on the throat. But when she came into the Theta Healing, she did a couple of healing. And because in the beginning, she didn't pay too much about it until it became so severe, it affected the whole system. And what happened is that because the tumor it was so big, like a grapefruit inside of her throat, right? Her husband was very worried, very much taking care of her and really worried for her. And she was so happy. And after that, after a couple of healings, she stopped coming for 4 months. And then after she came back twice again. And inside of that, she said, my husband stopped taking care of me. He's busy working. He's not spending as much time with me. And then the author said, how come I cannot heal this client? And the creator said, because she wants to pass away. And she was really shocked. And then after a period, what happened was the husband called her and said, hey, do you think you could come and check up on my wife because I can no longer communicate with her? Do you think you could communicate with her? So like that, I could get the last word from my wife, right? So in the end, you understand that belief system is because for her, she wanted to spend more time with her husband and she couldn't. Now there's a second case. The second case was a bit different. It was the friend of Vianna Stibal, but she started as a client and became a friend. Back then, she had intestine cancer. So she went to see the doctor, and the doctor said, it's like, you have a few weeks to live, that's it. And then she was very worried, but she believed she could heal it. So she went to Vianna Stibal. Vianna actually healed her, and she became very happy. A year and a half later, what happened is that she still felt something was going on inside of her system. So she went to the doctor, and the doctor said, you're going to pass away. And then he brought up a tumor specialist, and the tumor specialist said, you know what, just to be safe, let's cut a part of your colon. And then Vianna was like, I'm not sure, maybe you should get a second opinion. But she listened, the client listened to the tumor specialist and cut a part of her colon. And it was a part of her healthy colon. And because of that, and the doctor said, you will have to pass away, because you don't have too much time. And she was crying and she was in tears. And then what happened was, when she went home, her kids were splitting up her heritage. And the kids said, no, I don't want any health practitioner, I don't want any healers to come here again. And they refused any type of health practitioner or healer to come see her. Was in tears. So in the end, this client of hers passed away out of the belief system of the doctor and of her children. So we have to understand when it comes to belief system, there's 4 types. The 4 types of belief system is like that. You have the first one. The first belief system is your core belief system, what you were brought up with, how you got educated, and how your caretaker took care of you, how they said it. And this gets nested in your frontal lobe, right? And once it gets nested there, it usually stays there. So whenever you have to go through Theta Healing, sometimes you have to go through that. Now there's the second type of belief system. Now this is the hereditary belief system. Usually it's passed on from your grandparents, your parents, and they pass it on onto your DNA. Now there's the third type. The third type is actually more related to your past life. Your past life will have this belief system. For example, me, there are certain things I don't like. And since a kid, I don't like it. And I was like, I've never touched it and I don't like it. I just don't enjoy it. And I knew that's part of a past life, right? So when we understand that, we will understand sometimes our belief system comes from our past life. Inside of the past life, when your soul enters the body again, usually there's 3 molecules that gets placed inside of the physical body. One will go into the pineal gland, and 1 molecule will go to your heart chakra, and 1 will go to the bottom of the spine. And usually it gets reawakened when you activate the Kundalini. Now there is the 4th type, and it is the soul belief, and usually it gets stored inside of your heart chakra, okay? And those are the 4 types of belief system. There's so much to unpack on this book, but this is part of some of the theories I wanted to share with you. I hope you guys have a lovely day and have a nice day, everyone. Bye-bye.